The sun scorched the red earth of Igale, but even its warmth could not soften the villagers' eyes when Boro passed. Children hid behind their mothers, who muttered curses under their breath. The gourd thief, they called him, the man who once stole yam offerings from the shrine, who lied, vanished, returned with bruises and coin. Boro said little. His back was crooked like a broken calabash, his eyes sharp like thorns. But as the drums of the fire festival beat in the distance, he watched. Not the dancers, not the flames. He watched the sacred hut where the child Aria slept. The fire drum festival blazed into dusk, laughter shaking the trees. But then, silence. A scream! One mother, Iale, the priest's wife, fell to her knees. The sacred hut was empty. Aria, the chosen child, was gone. Panic spread like dry harmattan wind. Some shouted of kidnappers, others of the forest gods. Boro watched from behind a hut's corner, face unreadable. The villagers noticed him. "Where is the girl thief?" one barked. Another, louder. "He did it! He waits in shadows like always." But Boro turned and walked away, not answering. No one saw the flicker of concern tightening his weathered jaw. The sacred fire dimmed as Ayale's scream echoed across Igele. Villagers surged forward, flames crackling behind them, panic turning to rage. "It is a spirit's doing," one elder shouted, "or a traitor's," barked another. Then came the finger, pointed, trembling, at Boro's retreating form. "He was near the hut," cried someone. "He watches what he shouldn't," another accused. The crowd turned, eyes blazing. Boro paused at the village edge, back still to them. "I saw smoke near the woods," he murmured. No one listened. Stones struck the earth near his feet. He vanished into the dusk, shadows swallowing the only man not afraid to go alone. Boro walked toward the hills, back to the flames that now lit the night. Behind him, Iyal wept, clutching her daughter's headscarf, the last thing found near the shrine. Villagers shouted his name with venom. A fire burst from the thatched roof of the sacred hut. "He cursed us all!" someone screamed. But Boro didn't turn. He kept walking, the shadows of his past dragging behind like smoke. No one noticed how his fists clenched when the child's name was spoken. No one saw the way his jaw tightened with every hateful word. The villain had heard enough. Now he would act. At the edge of the scorched shrine, where flames once danced, Boro crouched. His fingers sifted through blackened dust until they found it, a spiral etched beneath the ash. Not drawn, but burned. His eyes narrowed. He had seen it once, long ago, on the back of an elder's charm when his mother begged forgiveness for a debt unpaid. "Forest pact," he muttered. "Old spirits, hungry ones." Behind him the cries of villagers faded into the night. He stood slowly. No one had asked for his help, but Iria was still alive, and Boro knew exactly where to begin looking. Boro returned, ash still on his fingertips. He stood before the elder's hut and spoke only one. "I know where the child is." Silence fell. Then laughter, sharp, cruel, mocking. "You'll sell her spirit for another calabash of palm wine." The villagers jeered. A boy flung a handful of sand at Boro's chest. "Get out, gourd thief," someone shouted. Boro said nothing. He turned, eyes burning, not with shame, but with purpose. If they would not listen, he would act alone. As he stepped past the village boundary, the wind shifted. The spirits had heard him, and they were waiting. Branches snapped beneath Boro's bare feet as he moved deeper into the forest, where even hunters refused to tread. The trees groaned like sleeping giants. Spirits lingered in every rustle. He pressed forward, guided by the spiral symbol etched in his memory. A chorus of whispers brushed his ear, but he showed no fear. In the clearing ahead, the air shimmered, a veil between worlds. The gourd strapped to his side pulsed faintly, reacting to the ancient magic. Boro narrowed his eyes. "I know this place," he muttered. His past had led him here once. Now, it might cost him everything. The glowing path twisted into silence as Boro stepped into a clearing thick with mist. At its center stood Okpokpo, the forest's old spirit. Twisted, winged, neither man nor beast. "Gourd thief," it hissed. "You return for what you never earned." Boro bowed low. "I come for the child." The spirit circled him, eyes burning. "Do you remember the debt your mother never paid?" Boro's jaw clenched. "Then take me," he said. "Let the child go." Okpokpo laughed, a sound like breaking wood. "You would trade guilt for innocence?" Boro nodded once. "I will speak the truth." The spirit grew still. Interested. Mist curled like breath around a glowing cocoon hanging from twisted branches. Inside, the child, Iriah, floated, eyes closed, chest rising faintly. Delight pulsed in rhythm with a heart not hers. Boro stepped forward, mouth dry. "Left her go," he whispered. Okpokpo's voice slivered through the trees. "Left her go," he whispered. He had stolen once, something far worse than yams. "I took a life," he said. "My brother's, for food, for survival." The forest stilled. The cocoon shimmered. The curse listened. The spirit web trembled with light as Boro's words filled the clearing. "I let him die," he said, voice hollow. "I ran, left him to starve." Okpokpo's laughter rolled like thunder. "So you carry guilt but wear no chains. What would you sacrifice?" Boro looked up at the girl suspended in golden light. "Take my name," he whispered. "Let hers remain pure." The roots beneath her pulsed, then cracked. The web dimmed. Area stirred. Okpokpo hissed, vanishing into mist. The curse had loosened, not for blood, but for truth. Boro dropped to his knees, unsure if what he had freed was only the child. The forest did not celebrate. It simply let them pass. Boro carried Area in his arms, her breathing soft, her small hand gripping his wrist. The spirit web faded behind them, dissolved into mist. Every tree he passed felt older now, every step heavier. He did not smile. The child stirred, eyes fluttering open. "You came," she whispered. Boro nodded. "They won't believe it," she said. "They don't need to," he replied. They emerged from the tray line, the first stars blinking above. The fire drums had gone cold, but the path back to the village still waited. And Boro did not look back. When Boro stepped into Igele, child in arms, time halted. The drums fell silent. Children froze mid-play. Mothers dropped their pots. Iria's name leapt from every mouth. Boro said nothing. He placed her gently into Igele's arms. The priest's wife sobbed as the girl whispered, "He saved me." Eyes turned, searching his face for lies, for tricks, but found none. One elder stepped forward, but Boro turned before he could speak. "I don't want thanks," he muttered, "only memory." And he walked toward the edge of the village, leaving behind a silence filled with questions, and the sound of a heart changing. Boro stood outside the elder circle, eyes fixed on the earth. Behind him, children clung to mother's skirts. Area sat by the sacred drum, smiling faintly, untouched by the fear that gripped the others. The high elder stepped forward. "You brought her back," he said. "But who brings back the trust you buried?" Boro didn't flinch, even before I gave you reason. Even before I gave you reason. "What do you want?" the elder asked. "Nothing," Boro replied. "Only that you remember who saved her." Then he turned and walked away, leaving footprints in the dust of their doubt. That night, under starlight, Iria stood before the fire. Her small voice pierced the hush. "Boro didn't steal me. He saved me." The elders sat still. Villagers murmured. He faced the forest, spoke the truth when no one else did. Iele wrapped her arms around the girl, nodding. Slowly, Doubt crumbled into silence. One by one, villagers lowered their heads, not in shame, but in realization. Boro watched from the edge of the firelight, face unreadable. He turned before anyone could thank him. In her palm, Iele held the old gourd he had left behind. Not broken, not empty. Whole. Days later, Boro was gone. No one saw him leave. But outside every hut in Igale, a child placed a carved gourd. Plain, cracked, and simple. At the priest's door, Irius sat filled with kola nuts and a strip of red cloth. Remembrance. The elders gathered in silence. No speeches were made. None were needed. Boro had given them back their child and something more. A mirror. Now, whenever someone was wronged or wronged another, they'd say, place a gourd. Not to punish, to remember. Not all heroes wear white, some wear shame, and still they save us.